Hello, guys, and welcome to a brand new season here at South Shields. Today, we are kicking off our very first season in the championship against familiar opponents Salford. Of course, it had to be fate that we kick off the season against Salford, who has been gaining promotions with us since the National League. So it should be a fantastic game today. We are going to be at home in a sold-out Mariners Park. But before we get into that, we got plenty of things to go over, and we all start off with our new players. So, the very first player to join us for our new season is Miles Kinlock. He is a left back who joined us from Rochdale for $140,000. We let go of both Ben Hunstrup and Dominique Thompson, so we needed to get in a new left back, and Miles looked like he was a good option for us. He has plenty of experience, and he has great ability, so he starts off this season as our starting left back. Then next up we have Marlon Oyenuga. He is a very good-looking young center back who joins us from Fulham, I do believe. Yes, he joins us from Fulham. We got him on a free transfer. He spent last season in League 2 on loan at Forest Green. But you can see here he has a very good technical ability for a center back. 17 heading, 11 marking, 13 tackling. Has pretty good mental attributes as well, and his physicals are not bad at all, and he has plenty of potential ability. He starts off as our third choice center back, but he will get plenty of playing time this year for us. Then we have a new starting goalkeeper. This is Callum Burton, who joins us from Wrexham. We got him for an absolute steal of $86,000. He is an experienced goalkeeper, 28 years old, and he looks like he will do a good job for us and has done well in pre-season. Then we have Liam Hiles joining us from Chelsea on loan for our upcoming season. He is a young left back who will be backing up Miles Kinlock this season. He has pretty good overall attributes. His technicals, nothing super good, but all of them are average. He does have good free kick and good tackling and technique. Mental attributes look good. Physicals not bad at all. He is only 18 years old, so he's definitely a big potential player. And we'll see how he progresses throughout the season. Then next up we have Fletch Sharp, who is an attacking midfield player. He slots in above Dan Woodman to start out the season. We get him on a free transfer from Norwich. Looks to be a pretty decent player and has plenty of potential. Then we have Joe Lennon, a very good striker who we got on a free transfer after being released by Manchester City. He is going to be starting for us today, but we also have another striker who joins the team that we actually just signed yesterday, or not yesterday, a couple days ago. But he looks to be a fantastic striker for us already. We'll just look at the coach report. You see, he is an upgrade over Craig Guteridge, and he looks to be a solid striker. And next up we have Jason Roach, who is also a striker, but I'm having him as our backup inside forward. He joins us on a free transfer after last playing for Barnet. He has good pace and decent attributes overall. Another player that doesn't have super standout attributes, but is a solid player nonetheless. Next up, we have Mitch Clark, who joins us from Brentford for 81,000. He is a very good pickup for us. We needed another right back, and Mitch looked like an absolute steal for 81,000. Look at his mental attributes, absolutely fantastic. A lot of greens, and you can say the same thing for his technical and physical. A lot of greens and blues elsewhere. So just an absolute solid signing for us. So he spent the last 2 seasons with Brentford in League One. Before that, he spent a loan out in Spain and was with Derby and was from Aston Villa's Youth Academy. So it looks to be very good for us. And then next up, we have Tommy Doyle, who is a central midfielder. Another solid young player who is a backup for us right now, but he has insane potential, 5 stars. So he's maxed out for potential wise. I'm not sure if I'll send him out on loan this season. We'll see how much game time he's getting at the start of the season and determine that. But Tommy looks to be a very good young player with loads of potential for us. The one thing that is disappointing is he only has 2 determination, so that will definitely be a hindrance to his potential ability and his progression. But we'll see if we can bump that up at all with mentoring. And then here is our latest signing, Cameron McGowan, who joins us from Swansea City for 135,000. This is that other striker I was mentioning. He looks to be a very, very good striker. He has extremely good physical stats and good technical ability. 13 finishing, 13 first touch, 16 heading. His passing and technique is a little low for the advanced forward role, but he looks to be a very good young player, and his mental stats look very solid as well. So he did join us from Swansea. Got him for 135, so that was fantastic. So we started off with Dundee in Scotland. Made an appearance in his first season with them. Then after a couple seasons they got relegated, he started getting more game time. And then Swansea swooped in for 220,000. He made 3 appearances for them in the Premier League. Got loaned out to Bolton in the Championship last season, where he had 37 appearances, 6 goals, and 3 assists, 2 player of the matches. So we will look to see him get plenty of game time this season. Not quite fit to start off this game, as he missed out on preseason. But he will be getting plenty of game time as we look to work him in the early games here. We have made 1 player sale. Aaron Caldbeck was demanding a transfer after I mistreated him because I fined him for poor performances. So he gets sold off to Aston Villa for 64,000. But I also have, well, you can't see it here, but if we switch back over here to clauses, I have a 50% of the next transfer fee will be owed to us. So hopefully he progresses a little bit and Aston Villa cash in on him, and then in turn we'll get cashed in on. And then we have released a load of players. So Barry Bannon retires after last season. He had 29 appearances for us. He was not featured very much last season at all. the season before. He came in midway through season and looked solid for us. So we thank Barry for his time here at South Shields. Brandon Hunstrup has been released. We did not renew his contract. The 28-year-old made 63 appearances and getting 1 goal for us along the way. Then, as mentioned, we also released Dominique Thompson. He only made 22 appearances for us. That was last season when we got him on a free transfer after we needed a backup left back. So we wish Dominique well in the future, and looks like he has a contract offer from Burton Albion at this time. Then Marley Blair has been released from the club. He has been with us for a very long time. He made 150 appearances for the club, notching in 22 goals. Marley Blair joined us when we were way back in the National League North. That might have been our first season in this series. So, Marley Blair, thank you so much for your service here at the club. I hope to see you get picked up by a club. I'm not sure if he will or not. He definitely has the attribute level of a non-league team, but I'm not sure if he'll get picked up or not. So hopefully he does, though. He deserves it. Then next up, Joe Wright released the 30-year-old center back. Just not worth the money at 30 years old anymore to renew his contract. So he leaves the club. He made 54 appearances and getting 3 goals with this time at the club. He is definitely still a solid player, and hopefully he gets picked up by a League 1 or League 2 side. And then Mitchell Lund is already picked up by Walsall, but he was a right back for us, and he only made 18 appearances and getting 1 goal for us. He was signed last season when we needed a right back as well. So hopefully he does well in League 1 with Walsall. He does look like he is a backup there, but hopefully he can continue to play for a few more years. Then Dean Purby was released by us. He spent last season on loan at FC United. Dean, we signed him as a young 18-year-old. We were hoping he would progress a little bit more, but it just never really did. His personality really hindered his development. But Dean did make 24 appearances for us in his time at the club, and he has been signed by Stockport already, and they are in the National League, where he definitely should get plenty of action down there. He has good ability for that level, so hopefully he progresses with them and has a long future in football. Then next up, we released Connor Webster, another player who was with us for a very long time. He made 166 appearances and getting 28 goals for us. So Connor just not up to our standards for the championship anymore. So we let him go. His mental attributes are definitely very good and are of championship quality, but his technical abilities not quite up to our standards anymore. He joined us when we were way back in the National League, where we spent $15.5 thousand to get him from Alfreton. I do really hope he gets picked up by a club. Doesn't look like there's any interest for him right now, but he is a solid player for lower leagues. Then Alex Curran has been released from the club and has already signed for Cambridge. He has plenty of potential that hopefully he can see out with Cambridge. He has good mental and physical attributes. His physicals are a bit below standard, but he looks like he's going to be first team for Cambridge. They look like they are in the National League, So that is definitely a fantastic signing for them. You can see he has a lot of value. So hopefully Alex is able to get plenty of game time and see his career take off. Then Spencer Brooks has been released from the club as well. He was once a starter for us, but got pumped down to the backup position with Craig Guteridge. He looked like he would be a good signing for a League 2 side and maybe a Scottish team. So Notts County look like they are interested. They are a League 2 side, but Spencer Brooks had 58 appearances, 28 goals for the Mariners. So hopefully he does get picked up by Notts County or another club and gets the game time that he deserves. And then we had a couple of youth players that we released. All right, so that is our player transfers and players that have left the club. And we'll just switch over here to our schedule view and see how we've gotten on in preseason. So we kicked off preseason against Scottish team Ardry and got a 0-0 draw against them. Not a lot going on in that game. A lot of team chemistry being built up in that game with a lot of new players and a lot of trialist players at that time. But then we faced off against Newcastle Benfield and got a 5-1 victory over them. We had goals from Udacina, hat-trick from Craig Guteridge, and goal from Carlo Poveda. They did have a player sent off in the second half, but that didn't really affect anything as we scored all our goals before that. So then, next up, we faced off against Mosley and got a 5-0 victory over them. Guteridge, Connell, Wagstaff, Lennon on the goal sheet, and an own goal from them in the 90th minute. They did have a player sent off in the 42nd minute, but a very good run out for us in that game. Then we faced off against Norwich City, who are in the championship, and we actually play in our second game of the season. We got a nice 3-0 victory over them. Goals from Sharp, Guteridge, and Good in that game. And that was a good test for us in preseason. And then we faced off against Premier League side Southampton and got a 3-1 victory over them, which was very, very pleasing. Goals from Good, Hayes, and Woodman, and they get a goal in the 61st minute from Florianus. So this was very, very nice. I thought we played extremely well in that game, and it showed in the scoreline. If you look at the stats here, we'll see that they were pretty even, but to be able to have that kind of statistics against the Premier League side shows that we'll hopefully have enough to avoid relegation this season. Then we faced off against Scottish Giants Rangers and unfortunately got a 3-5 loss against them. Daley Campbell got sent off in the 40th minute, which really made things difficult. He got sent off and gave up a penalty all at the same time, so that even the scoreline at 2-2, and then after that, Rangers were all over us and come out with a 5-3 victory. And then we faced off against Tranmere Rovers in the last game of the season, last preseason game, and got a 2-0 victory over them. Poveda and Hayes on the score sheet for us. So we kick off the championship after having a solid preseason. Looking at the season preview, we are projected to come in 23rd, just one place above Salford. So we are projected to get relegated this season, but we had a solid pre-season, so I'm hopeful that we're able to avoid relegation this season. I know it's going to be a lot of work. There are some big clubs in the championship that have good quality, so it will not be easy, but I think we should be good. And so here is the team that will be starting for us today. So we got Burton in goal, Ken Lock in left back. We also renewed Mark Taylor for this upcoming season on loan from West Brom. Then we have Udacina, Daly Campbell, Dickinson Sharman back in the starting lineup after breaking his ankle last season. Ashley Charles, Poveda, Sharp at attacking midfield, Connell on the left, and Joe Lennon leading the line for us today. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 new players in the lineup today. And we have a few of them on the bench as well. McGowan and Mitch Clark on the bench as new players. So without further ado, let's go ahead and kick off this new season, sold out Mariners Park. And one thing to mention, we are in the process of building a new stadium. We'll hopefully have that for next season. They're currently looking for a site for the new stadium, and it's projected to be around 11 to 12,000 capacity stadium, which will be a big increase. And look at this, Fletch Sharp opens up the goal scoring with a beautiful free kick. What a goal on his debut, over the wall, keeper stranded there. Beautiful. But yes, having a new stadium with that capacity will be huge. I expect us to sell out every game this season. Sharp with another free kick, this time not able to get it on goal. But we're looking solid here so far. Sharp does pick up a yellow card. We're just going to tell him to ease off the tackles. Don't want to get a yellow card. Another yellow card and get sent off. So we'll just tell him to take it easy here. But we've had a wonderful start to this game. We are looking very solid, and we now have a throw-in up to Connell, back to Dickinson Sharman. He looks for Poveda. What a ball, and Poveda has an easy tap in. Dickinson Sharman, we desperately missed him at the end of last season, but he's back, and he's back with a bang. Look at this ball. Beautiful, beautiful. And now Sharp with another free kick, and he forced the keeper into a save. Joe Lennon not quite able to get there in time, but here is a VAR replay, goal line technology, and it's not over the line, but we are looking solid this game. And we're looking for a third goal now. Poveda whips it in for Joe Lennon, and he gets a goal on his debut as well. What a ball in by Poveda. And that wasn't an easy header, but he does well to direct that into the bottom corner. We now have a 3-goal advantage heading into halftime. Good header by Joe Lennon. Beautiful, beautiful stuff this is. And halftime is here, and we have a 3-goal lead. Beautiful, beautiful. I was expecting it to be a lot closer of a game than this, but I guess we've had a better preseason and better signings in Salford. They might be struggling to stay up this year. We're looking for a 4th goal now. Dickinson Sharman plays it, looking for Kinlock on the side, but he gets the ball back. This time he does find Kinlock, who's making a run inside. He plays it out to Charles, who has a long-range effort, and the goalkeeper parries it out for a corner. And we're still looking for that 4th goal. And a free kick has been given after we have been deemed to have committed a foul. And we are just going to make a substitution. We're going to bring on Dan Woodman for Fletch Sharp. And we're into the 64th minute. And I think I'm going to bring on Cameron McGowan. And I'm going to actually take off Luca Connell and have McGowan play as that inside forward on that left-hand side, just so we can get him some game time. Good interception by Kinlock, and we're looking to break on the counterattack here. He plays it up to Joe Lennon, back to Kinlock, who has a shot, and it's just over the bar, but that looked like it was a dangerous counterattack. And we are going to make one final substitution. We will be giving Marlon Uwanuga his debut. We'll take off Mark Taylor. And we're just going to shout some praise out at the boys who have played fantastic for us today. And not long left in this opening game, and I think we are about to get the full-time whistle any second now. But we are looking for a fourth, but we misplay that, and then the ref calls for full-time, and we come out of the first game with a 3-0 victory over Salford. So I think we'll be pretty high up on the league table with a goal difference of 3. And we are in 4th place, sitting on 3 points and a +3 goal differential. But yeah, what an absolutely wonderful first game of the season. So I'm not sure where we'll be coming back for our next episode. We'll see if we can get a matchup against a team that are near the top of the league. But as always, guys, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new around here. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get notified when a new video is out. But until next time, it has been your Boyd 147.